Fox Carolina First Alert Weather.
6:43 now. A good Wednesday morning to everybody. Today, another First Alert Weather day as we face the potential for more severe weather later in the day today. It looks like more of an evening into the first part of the overnight threat. We'll get to the specifics on that in a moment. Want to start you off, though, with a live look over Clemson this morning, where we're beginning to see some hints of some fog settling in here. As you can see, visibility is still generally good, but given that we're starting to see a little bit of that fog settling on in, it could certainly change quickly in some locations. Current temp in Clemson is 57, but that also matches the dew point, so our air mass is saturated, our winds are light, so that's why we could squeeze more of that fog out here in the next couple of hours. Temps, in fact, in many parts of the upstate and the mountains, pretty well into the 50s, even a few spots like Greenville we've been checking in on in the 60s right now, and it's a decidedly muggy start too. Now, First Alert radar this morning showing largely dry conditions, first and foremost, across the upstate and the mountains. We do have some partly cloudy skies and, of course, the fog setting in, but here's where things are going to move as we head into today. We have a cold front kind of tailing into a warm frontal boundary draped across northern Georgia into Alabama. That is going to lift back north across our area today as a warm front, so for as mild and muggy as it already is out there this morning, even warmer and more humid air will be spilling in with that boundary later today. That front may instigate some storms this afternoon as it comes northbound, and then we're going to see kind of a secondary interaction with this cold front sweeping into western Tennessee this morning that may further instigate storms and keep them going into the overnight hours tonight. So let's take you through the next 24 hours here on Future Track, starting at 7 a.m. where we have partly cloudy skies, breaks of sun starting the morning here once it rises shortly after 7 a.m., of course. 9 o'clock hour, mid-morning, continuing to see that same effect here. Closer to that boundary, though, skies will tend to run a bit cloudier through the first half of the day in the southern upstate. Showers staying out of the picture through then. But then you see what happens as we head into the afternoon hours. Those clouds in the upstate will tend to thin out. That'll allow more sun to heat the atmosphere, destabilizing things more. And as that warm frontal boundary begins to drift in, while a lot of this activity is first kind of being indicated back to the west of, say, Toccoa and into northern Georgia, wouldn't be out of the question to see a few pop-up showers or storms in parts of the upstate as early as 3 to 4 o'clock, but the better likelihood for that starts to come in between about 6 to 8 p.m. You see here by 7 o'clock, Greenville, I-85 over toward Clemson and Toccoa, Anderson to Lawrence. That's where that warm frontal boundary comes on in. And then as that's lifting north, again, instigating storms this evening, we then have the approach of the cold front moving into the mountains from the west. So this is all going to kind of converge on the mountains as we start to head toward the 10 o'clock hour tonight. And then as the cold front works its way east across the area, storms that initially come back up from the south will then sweep in from the west as we move into the overnight period. But fortunately, as we lose energy during the night, we should also lose the opportunities for severe weather pretty quickly. But at least for that late afternoon, evening time frame, that looks like our most likely chance of seeing some of those strong to severe storms. 78 and humid in the upstate for today. Sun and clouds giving way to the scattered storms late. Partly cloudy in the mountains, also warm and muggy, 76 for you. Your storm's not likely to arrive in the mountains until sometime after 8 p.m. We go to 66 and start drying out after a few lingering morning storms in the mountains tomorrow. And we just keep cooling down from there. An upper level low is going to keep some showers in the mix through Saturday in the mountains, but a high of only 50 on Saturday, followed by a low of 31 that night. And then your upstate forecast, 72 for tomorrow. Morning storms clearing out. Windy 62 Friday, and then a chilly start to the weekend anyway. 59 on Saturday before we warm right back up. 6:40.